Hi, I'm Darrell Todd, Thinking Australia. Welcome to everybody. Beautiful sunny day here in London, bit of an unusual thing for us all, but just like to welcome Glenn Ferguson. Glenn heads up the company Ferguson Cannon in Brisbane, Australia, our working partner for Thinking Australia Migration. Hi Glenn.
Darrell, how are you?
Oh, super mate, on a sunny day like this.
Well,
could be Australia.
How could you fault it today? Yeah? It could be Australia, could be anywhere in Australia today.
A few migration changes happening lately, and a lot of people out here in the UK have heard big headlines daily. Australia says no to migration. How do you see it?
Darrell, it's something that's been happening for years. The migration industry changes and the requirements of the country change. And as I always tell people, one thing you've got to remember, Australia was born on the back of migrants, and it will always need high quality migrants to fill our skills shortages. And the new list, what it's done is look at specific areas that the government feels it needs to fill. And not only that, we've got a situation now where they're trying to match people up with jobs, which is really
good thing.
Which is really important.
I mean, that's sort of following like Canada's got about a 6-7 year waiting list, and in terms of this process, which is quite difficult, but they've got it right, haven't they?
They have, and the reason for that is because we don't want people coming into Australia on a particular occupation and not being able to work.
Well, I think that's a problem. I've been telling people for years, you're an electrician, you're a plasterer, and a lot of guys here tend to get out to Australia and say, look, I've had enough of being a plasterer or plumber or electrician, and it leaves a void, it leaves this gap of why they should be there. And I think the new thing about, as I see it, and correct me where I'm wrong, is the fact that if a job is got a job vacancy in Australia, we can actually fill it from the UK. They're high quality. We've got a guy here right now, we're doing meetings in London, and got a guy here right now sitting over with Jim, one of your partners, your CEO of your company, talking to an electrician. Plenty of jobs in Australia, qualified here. He can only get in if he gets a job offer. I think that's right.
Well, I think it gives security to the migrant too.
Absolutely.
It makes sure that their transition when they come to Australia is an easy process. And I think from the government's perspective, they're looking at filling the void. And there is a big void in Australia in skilled workers, and that's only going to grow because Australia is rich in minerals and resources. We've got a huge amount of projects, contrary to what's been said in the papers lately about them slowing up. But the reality is they're going to come online, and they need people to fill them. And the people from the UK are the ideal applicants because they speak English, they've got great qualifications.
If you're qualified and you go through the skill program, you've got two options. Job today, if you like, or go down the migration path as well, which may take a year or 2 or 3, but at least you will be an Australian.
Oh, exactly. The end result for people who want to go to Australia is to get that permanent residency. How you go about it will depend on your circumstances, and Australians, they are hard-working, they respect people who work hard, so it's a perfect match as far as...
Well, I'm telling everyone the Australians are pretty lazy, mate. You're telling me they're hard workers.
Not at all. Hardest workers you'll ever find, Darrell.
Are you looking at Australia as I'm looking at it, long term? In other words, I've heard 20, 25 year economy boom. Is this correct? Is this how you see it?
Well, we just haven't had a recession. We've heard about them for the last 10 or 15 years, and we've had blips. That's about it in Australia, and that's where the reassessment comes into play. And one thing we've got to remember with the mining boom comes all the ancillary industries. I mean, health professionals, trades, as you've said. I mean, Australia's only got a population of 21 million. For an absolutely massive country.
Well,
and we've got a population that's growing older, and birth rates.
Tell me about that, mate.
Exactly. You'd fit in well, Darrell.
That's all right. That's why I'm living over here, mate.
Australia now it's a very multicultural, accepting community, life really is easy. Don't take it for granted, and that's the one thing. You talk about this weather. Sometimes we need to realise that we have this constantly, and they're things that we just don't think about.
Have a backup these days, and I think migration is coming to the background at the moment, but at the forefront is jobs first, migration to go with it, rather than migration, then jobs when you get to Australia. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly, and I think, Darrell, that's where you really understand the market, because you're looking for a solution, no matter what the situation is. And there isn't sometimes a simple solution. So we look forward to working with you on that basis, because when it comes down to it, it's the client's got to be happy at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
The best referrer is that client that has a great experience.
Well, I think that's the great thing what I try and do now. This is a Sunday here in London. I give out these 7-day appointments, and they're free. But we know that, and the people know that we do these seminars and stuff. We try and educate people prior as much as we can. I think that's the success rate. We've never had anybody, you know, basically come back and say, look, we didn't like Australia, because I think they're well forewarned.
Yep.
They've learned a bit about Australia. They know what they're buying into, for example. And even the cameraman here, Mike, and poor old Mike standing here sweating on a hot sunny day, but he's dreamed for Australia. And I don't think you can go down and sit at the tables down here with these people here in the cafe and ask them, would you like to go to Australia? Every second person in this country wants to go to Australia. So it's jobs, jobs, jobs.
Certainly is, Darrell.
Okay, we're doing jobs. Our first job expos here in the UK is starting in the first week of August. So I think our first one's in Glasgow, but do check our website. First one in Glasgow, Manchester, going down to the Cheltenham Racecourse, back here into London, first in August and September. Check our website, www.thinkingaustralia.com, and book now. And thank you for joining us for today.